Hi there, this is Janet Gershen-Siegel. It's been a while. This is the module that goes up to 11 here in Quinnipiac social media class ICM 522. And I'm going to get started really quickly. This is the module about, whoop, there it is. This module is about moving your social media message to a site that maybe isn't one of the really, really big ones. It's not Twitter, it's not Facebook. And so we had a kind of an interesting thing happen. So we're going to split this presentation into two pieces because there were two sites that we went to. And I'm here to talk about the first place that we went to. And it's that we went to MySpace, and we learned why MySpace is so 2005. And what we learned is, everybody says you're a band, you should go on to MySpace. But anyway, here's what happened. So our original plan is we'll go to MySpace. So we created a MySpace page, and here I'll show it to you really quickly. It looks like this. So as you can see, we've got the same branding that we have everywhere else, the same logo, the same background. But this is essentially what MySpace looks like. And I'll shoot over a little bit to the side. And what it shows is there's connections that you can get on MySpace, and as you can see at the bottom, there's there's music that you can play. But it seems to be really, really random. So anyway, getting back to the slides. So we created that site, and the MySpace account was created in order to support and inform the community of JCrack Rhode Island fans, and it exists in conjunction with the blog, the Facebook page, and the Twitter stream. And as you can see, everything is branded the same way. Our POS approach to the MySpace page was Personi would be the fans of JCrack's music, mainly friends and family. And essentially, but the problem that we found is that the band's fans are not on MySpace. So here we are trying to chase new fans, and the truth is they're just not there. JCrack fans aren't on MySpace, so what we attempted to do instead was try to connect to local venues, DJs, and other potential influencers. And I'll talk about the shortcomings of MySpace in that area in a moment. The objectives were support for the band, to boost their popularity, posting about songwriting, reaching out to fans, providing pre-existing content such as images and videos. We also, our strategy was to connect with key influencers in an attempt to grow the band's influence, and this included connecting to promising accounts in Boston and Providence, and also providing some musical and visual content in order to increase reach and engagement. Now here is the problem with MySpace in a nutshell. I'll go back to MySpace for a second. These 25 connections right here. This is me reaching out to people, trying to connect to them. And the way that you can slice and dice the MySpace data is not very good. There really are only three areas that you can do this in. One is gender, which was completely useless for us. Another one was location, but it's only by city. So the problem is Rhode Island is kind of a small state. We really should be looking at all of Rhode Island, and instead I had to break it down to just Providence. And I'm not going to sit there and look up every single town in Middlesex Village and town in Rhode Island. So what I ended up doing was just looking in Boston and Providence, figuring that those would cover most of it. But the problem is, of course, you miss people in places like New Bedford, which is more or less in between. And the other area that you can look up is musical genre, but you can only look up one genre at a time, or you can look up all. So I looked up all, and what I did was I made an effort to find places where I made an effort to find connections that were DJs, that were venues, that were some place where you could record, anything I could find that looked even remotely like some place where we could possibly be recording or playing. And the truth is, most of these are so poorly put together that you cannot figure out what genres they cater to, or whether they're even still in business. And you know, these bands, like the tetrapods, okay? I clicked on them more or less as a lark, and I found out that I could become one of their 8 biggest fans. That's absurd. I've never even heard of this band before. But because they're not getting any play on MySpace, the problem is that they're not getting any fans. Now, contrast this to a big star. Now, let's just go back in MySpace for a second. Come here. So we go back to MySpace, and if we look for people, let's go back to the original, and we look at people, and I'm doing this a little bit offline. Go to the Discover page, and I'm going to look for somebody who I know is on MySpace. Big star. Britney Spears, folks. Yes, Britney's on MySpace. However, and she's got about 1.5 million likes on there. These are connections. I'm sorry, and she has a ton of music on there. However, there's no engagement whatsoever. You keep going and going and going, and you can see her mixes and whatnot, and she's obviously highly successful, but she's not getting any play on MySpace either. There is no engagement. You can see there's only there's only a few likes here, and you know, now maybe this stuff isn't very likable, but this is one of her older albums. This should have tons and tons of likes. This is an album that sold, what did this go gold? Did it go platinum? It's not playing on MySpace. So the next thing we found was MySpace offered few opportunities for real interaction. We felt it would not fulfill our needs, and our fans would not want to join us there. It's hard to get people to jump from one platform to another, and we felt that MySpace really was just not going to work. So we decided to scrap it and zig instead of zag and go elsewhere, and I'm going to turn this over to Kim for our current plan. So I'd like to thank you for listening to part 1, and we're looking forward to seeing what you guys have come up with. So thanks. This is the module that goes up to 11.